Welcome to the double parlors at Bartow-Pell. I'm Allison McKay, the director of the museum. Today we are presenting a closed-set live stream performance by dolltr. She could have been almost anywhere for this performance, but we felt it was important for both her as a musician and us as the audience to have her perform live in this mid-19th century space as a kind of juxtaposition to her very 21st century music. This performance coincides with Home is Where the Music Is, an installation created by guest curator Caroline Drabik. That it opens during Women's History Month is not a coincidence. We'll hope you have a chance to visit the mansion soon to see and hear it in person. I'd like to now introduce you to dolltr. dolltr is an artist project of music technologist and electronic musician Marie Lim. She is known for her dynamic live electronic music performances of synths, drum machines, and vocals, enabling her to paint auditory experiences that seamlessly meld electronica, pop, future bass, and dance music. Her endeavors have been hailed as shattering the glass ceiling of electronic music, especially in her advocacy of female and Asian representation. The performance will be followed by a short Q&A session with Caroline and dolltr. This performance is made possible by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. Are you ready? Here we go.
We bring the damage to the world, but it's human nature, I can't help myself. Oh, if it's complicated, they just wanna yell. Oh, won't you cue me? Won't you cue me, please? Won't you cue me, please? Sister, help me breathe. Tell me why could be easy. A voice is got me losing sleep. Tell me why could be dreaming. Sexy, I surrender. Choosing to close your eyes again. Do the things you desire. Seeing how it's coming around. And if it's complicated, they just wanna yell. Help me breathe, tell me what could be easier. The voice has got to sleep, tell me what could be dreaming. Sister, help me breathe, tell me what could be easy. The voice has got to sleep, tell me what could be dreaming. We make the wildest animals. You gotta know I love you. Yes, I do. It's a chance it ain't enough to Stop trying to look for a partner because no one will win. I'm spending twice of the energy to what you begin. Might be too soon to call you out, and maybe someday we'll see eye to eye. There are times I wish I knew you like a friend. Maybe if I did, we come through in the end. All the opportunities, all the hopes for you to be stories far from true. Stop trying to look for a fight with me, cause no one will win. I'm spending twice of the energy to what you begin. Might be too soon to call you out, and maybe someday we'll see eye to eye. Eye to eye, stop trying to. On my mind, be a different destiny. We got alive. All we needed is the truth. All we found to create safari every time. Seriously, stop trying to. Across the universe, some whisper wakes. Have you been listening for a wind of change? My ears are open, eyes are closed. I'm waiting for a miracle again. Have you been calling out my name? We're in a world taken by madness, sadness in a sea of stolen words, broken and shattered. What mattered means no more. In a time shaken by thunder, wonder is the sea of life all gone, crippling under. What happened to us all? We fade, pulled back into the shade. We fade, pulled back into the shade. Just fade away, moved into whatever you can say today. If only you had tried. Just fade away, moved into whatever you can say today. If only you had tried. Across the ocean, blue, a wave will sadness in a sea of joy. That words broken and shattered. What mattered means no more. In time, breaking the silence. Silence is the nation night for all. Days of triumph, they all hurt to us all. Mountains to a memory, can save the day. Only you can try, just fade away. Mountains to a memory, can save the day. Only you can try. We pray. Pull back into the shade. We pray. Pull back into the shade. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Caught in a cage for So can't hide. It lives in my history. You ain't got a hold on me. It lives in my history. Oh, it lives in my history. I ain't gonna let this be. It lives in my I stayed too long, just to melt into a silence. Wait, don't get me when I'm gone. Oh, it lives in her history. You ain't got a hold on me. It lives in her history. Oh, it lives in her history. We're gonna let this be. It lives in her history. Oh, well. It lives in our history. You ain't got a hold on me. It lives in our history. Oh, it lives in our history. We ain't gonna let this be. It lives in our It lives in our history. 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 Oh, well. Thank you. Cool.
Everybody, dolltr. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for bringing the 21st century into these 19th century parlors. That's great, 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 great. Tell us something about the equipment you're using today.
Yeah, totally. So
It's all very colorful.
yeah, I know. I'm glad we talked about the colors. They're always excite me too. But yeah, so all of these things that you see on the table are what we call hardware controllers, and they're part of my live electronic setup. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. But yeah, they're part of my live electronic setup. So I try to do a lot of my performances with these. These are some of my personal favorites, and with them I can do a bunch of things. For example, I can play different types of sounds. Those things I can do a little bit of triggering of other types of synthesizer sounds. I can also do different kinds of effects with them too. A lot of that. And also just, of course, playing different kinds of sounds on the keyboard over here. So all different kinds of controllers, ultimately all kind of interfacing with my computer, which has a software that's called Ableton Live, and that's Ableton Live. Yeah, and Live is one of my favorite softwares. It's kind of funny because the name itself implies that it's for live performance. A lot of people use it for production though, but that was kind of like the reason why I got into electronic music in the first place, through live performance. So yeah, my whole life set up with my computer.
Right, and it's a very small keyboard.
It is, yeah. It's funny. I joke about this a lot with a couple of folks who have noticed like my live performances, but I joke that sometimes my gear is proportionate to my size because I'm not very large. So I just have like many pieces of little gear that works for me. So
That's great. How has technology enabled you to thrive as a musician and as a woman artist?
yeah, totally. As a musician overall, it was really the reason that kind of led me to begin my artist project. So it's the reason I'm really expressing myself at all. And I fell into it kind of halfway through college. I went to a music college, and at first I wanted to kind of be a very generic sort of musician, writer, producer, whatever that means. And then somehow my friends got me into electronic music, and one night in particular I went to see a live electronic music performance at Madison Square Garden actually, and that night just like changed my life. Probably because before that, whenever I heard of electronic music, I was always thinking of, it's very cold or very unfeeling. It's like very like normal sort of, not normal, but very boring, repetitive sorts of patterns, which to an extent, you do have that repetition, but it's so much more than that. And when I saw that live electronic music performance, I was just totally blown away by how wonderfully the artists were managing to connect with the audience. And that was really a catalyst that kind of got me into it. And specifically as a woman, I think one thing that technology has been able to let me do is just really kind of lose myself in a way, but also kind of, because I'm not dealing with other people, for example, it's just me and the computer. But also, a lot of the work that I do right now with my artist project, and even beyond that, is a lot of like educational stuff with young people. And I've found that for a lot of these young people, because they've grown up with technology, like, they're 2 years old and on a phone already, they've become so used to it as part of their lives, and because of that, why not use that to our advantage as educators and be like, hey, here's another way that you can be artistic with the technology and not just use it for, random like fun and games. And granted, music is still fun. That's how you do it. But yeah, it's like another way to express them creatively. And yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about the technology.
Great teaching tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Creative and teaching tools.
Totally. And I think it's kind of both of those like lenses that have shaped a lot of my work in general. Just the idea of being able to share information with people in a way that's, like, hey, it's not so intimidating, because I was unfair. I think maybe it's because I was unfair that I'm just like, help other people see the light too. See the light, yeah.
So, you're wearing a mask today.
I am, yes.
We were talking earlier about that, and I asked you, does it have an effect on your voice? Does it hinder you? How are you feeling with it, performing with it?
Yeah, totally. It's funny because sometimes, like, I guess the main thing is people don't really see your mouth, so like we don't really know what's going on. But yeah, totally. It's I've been able to manage to.
Singing today, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if anyone wants to talk to me about it, I'm happy to share more. But it's definitely challenging, having something on your face, quite literally. It always makes me wonder, like, how those artists who have, like, say, masks that they wear even outside of the context of a pandemic, like, like headgear and stuff. Like, I don't know how they do it. But for me, in this case, like, I specifically started using masks that were a little bit more breathable. So, for example, right before the performance, you saw me kind of switch out of a different mask. But the benefit of it really is, which I found that I didn't really expect at first, but I guess kind of works now, is that the mask actually kind of acts a little bit as a pop filter, which in music we talk a lot about how, plosive sounds like P's and B's, like puts and butts, are very sensitive, and mics are very sensitive to them too. So for example, when I just did those, we didn't actually hear any sound, but usually there would be. There might be like a low end sound that kind of affects the mic, affects the overall signal that's coming out of the system, but it worked great, so yeah, totally. So that's one benefit of it. And I'm not sure how I would feel, I guess, in the longer run
always performing with a mask, but definitely I'm enjoying it now that it takes that part away
That's
from the
great.
engineering troubles, yeah.
That's great. So what do you think we can expect from music technology in the next 10 or 20 years? As technology is always moving so fast now. What are your thoughts on what listeners can expect and musicians can expect in the next decade or two?
Yeah, totally. I think even the ideas that I'm gonna like share in a couple of seconds are like totally not comprehensive at all. So it's just like a fraction, I think, of what will happen. But I think one of the biggest parts is just the overall exploration of sound, just because we have all of these options to, create music with software nowadays, and also with hardware, but we're no longer just stuck with, say, a specific piece of, like a physical instrument. For example, I was a classically trained pianist, and the options, and flute player, and even on both like piano and flutes, the options that I have with electronics comparatively are just so much wider. And I still love playing piano and flute, but I think these have like elevated my creativity a lot by just giving me so many options for sounds. And I think really sounds are the ones that I think will continue to change. There's so many possibilities for creating different little glitchy things or little ear candy sorts of things, different kinds of synthesizer sounds too. And that's honestly pretty much what drew me in the first place, and what I think also draws a lot of people to using computers and using software to make music, just this whole new world of a new sonic environment that you're exploring.
And the creative possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. That's great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for being here today. Out there, wherever you all are. I hope that many of you can come here to the mansion this spring to see the second floor installation in the family parlor, which explores music technology in the 19th and 20th centuries, which may be for some of you a little trip down memory lane. I think you might like it very much. I hope you can come. And thank you for being here today. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.